Hi everyone, it's Chantabelle again. Hope you're good. Yeah, I'm just here. Just gonna tell you about my week. My week this week is what I'm labeling this segment. Hopefully there'll be a few updates to give you. Hope you're appreciating the filter as well. By the way, as you can see, it's making my lipstick pop. So I thought I'd definitely go with this one rather than a more natural looking one. So enjoy it for today. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just tell you about my week. I'm just going to take my bracelet off actually. Just realised I don't make too much noise on the things that I'm doing here. Yeah, tell you about my week. What's been going on? Really, autistic wise. What I'm going to do as well is just like make something while I'm talking, which is what I find relaxing to do. Obviously, it's my thing of much happiness, as you might already be aware. So I'm going to make some paper chains. Yeah, I'm going to make some paper chains for Christmas. I usually make paper chain for Christmas. I did this a few years ago actually, and it looked absolutely amazing. This is a sample, well, one of the rings from it anyway. Yeah, so I made it like in like yellows, greens, whites, and then a mixture of this, and it looks incredible. It looks so good in the front rim. So yeah, I wanted to do one last year and the year before, but I always leave it to the last minute, and obviously you need time to make paper chains. So I'm starting now in the summer, as you can see, evidence of sun, so that it'll be ready for the winter to put up. Yeah. So what I'm making it out of is colourful, actually, colourful paper this time. Yeah. So I thought this is my first year of officially being autistic. So I'm going to go full out colour, and I'm calling it kaleidoscopic Christmas. I think I'll spell Christmas with a K as well, just so it goes with the kaleidoscopic. And I'm using like really colourful origami paper to do it with. I don't know if it'll be too thin actually, because it's quite lightweight. The one that I used before was more like 220 GSM card that I cut into rings, but this one is, I don't know the thickness of this one. Maybe it's like 120. I have that skill, you see, I can listen to paper and feel it and know the weight of it. I'm sure a lot of you that are into paper craft can do the same thing as well. So it's a lot thinner. So do you know what? I'm gonna make a length of it, and let's see where it takes us, isn't it? What's the worst that can happen? Droopy hoops. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just gonna, make it while I'm chatting. Um. Yeah. So this week has been like the longest week, basically. Obviously, a week is 7 days, but it feels like this week has been about 3 weeks long. Like the 3 week long week it's absolutely crazy. The reason why I say that is because there's not really been a break in the 3 weeks. Obviously, usually schedule, you go to work throughout the week, and then have weekends or a couple of days throughout the week off. But because my kids do lots of competitions and things, so my days off are at competitions and then back to work again. And lots of other things have happened in between as well, which means that I've not really had, a day to just sit and do nothing. So that's why it feels like the week has been 3 weeks long. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, at one of my son's competitions was really good actually. They needed someone to sort of manage the team because there wasn't enough volunteers there. So I said, yeah, okay, why not? I'll go ahead. I'll give it a bash. I'll do it. So I was the little team manager there, which was really cool. Yeah, so I got to just chair the team along, got to organise them, tell them when their races were due, just give them encouragement and things. I only expected to be there for a couple of hours, but I ended up being there for, I don't know, how long were we there for? I think we got there at like 9, maybe 8:45, 9, and then didn't get home until about 5:30. Can you imagine? So planning energy wise, just being out for a few hours, expecting to be home, to put a dinner on and things like that, and then to be out for the whole day, yeah, that was something else. So yeah, I managed it well while I was there, but obviously by the time I got home, just absolutely knackered, so like socially sapped. Do you know what I mean? Obviously lots of talking to people, lots of cheering along, all that sort of thing. So energy wise, I was really sapped. So yeah, basically from that. So then yeah, the next day obviously had work for a few days, and then after work just rushed around with the kids and things, you know, just usual normal sort of stuff. So it just felt like there was no sort of time in between, basically. You know, getting home and just sleeping. That's all I could manage, just getting home and then having a sleep for a good 2 hours afterwards for most of the week, which is what I seem to be doing quite a lot recently. Just measuring out the size. I can't remember what size I made this. I know I used 6x6 before, but I can't remember how I decided how big it would be. So at the moment it's a bit of a trial and error, but we will see. Yeah, so then that's what happened there. Just about to cut it on my trimmer. I'm making it 1 inch thick. Love the sound of this. What I'll do is take off 1 inch there. I'm thinking if I fold that here, is that big enough hoop? No, that's a small hoop. Yes, I'm going to do a full 1 inch actually. Just a full 1 inch here. Oops. Yeah, so from that's how I was just feeling, just absolutely knackered. And then I'm planning a holiday as well. So we're going away in, you know, for summer holidays, just for like a week and a bit, basically. Really happy about it, really excited about it, but obviously, you know, all the work that goes into planning a holiday. So that's taken quite a lot of just planning, you know, insurance, clothes, you know, what currency to take, what format to take it in. Obviously, the currency of the country. That's not. I'm not going to make up a currency to take with me. Take up the currency of the country I'm going to. But you know, what format to take it in. You know, all the clothes to take. Oh, do you know what I did actually? I heard that you can get some assistance at the airport while you're traveling, if you let them know that you've got like a need, basically. So I'm traveling with Tui. It is Tui. Actually, this is pretty good. Yeah, the weight doesn't seem to be an issue. Obviously, it's going to be quite long, so I don't know if then when it's too long, it will then start to stretch a bit. But this looks promising. I'm liking it so far. Yeah, so with Tui. So is it Tui? Is it Thomas Cook? I'm sure it's Tui. Oh, goodness me. You know, they both start with T. Let's call it Tui. It's fine, right? So I'm going with Tui. All right. So I went to the shop, and I said, you know, hey, I saw on your website that I can, you know, get assistance in the airport. Blah 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 blah. There's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So then while I was there, they called through to I don't know, more TUI people in an office somewhere. And then they put the details on. They made some notes on my account. They gave us seats. They allowed us to allocate seats. They allowed. That doesn't make sense. They allowed us to. No, they allowed me to pick seats, and usually you have to pay for that. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll have that. Thank you so much. So we could choose where we were sitting. Apparently we'll board first, and when we get to the airport, they was like, oh, do you know when you get to the airport, do you need like a buggy? I was like, that sounds interesting. I was like, no, it's fine, we can walk. No, that's okay. We can travel by foot, so that's all right. But yeah, it's good to know that that's available, isn't it? That if you needed that assistance, then they could have someone do that for you. But it's just when you get to the airport, I think, I don't know what happens. Like, I suppose you go to the desk and then you get priority boarding. That's one thing, definitely a thing. Yeah, you get priority boarding, which I think is great. So we get to go on the plane first, take our seats, get settled in, and I think it just takes the anxiety away from the whole situation. Do you know what I mean? The worry away from the whole situation of traveling with the kids. It's the first time I'm traveling with them on my own as well. Previously, I've always had someone with me, but it's the first year that we are traveling just me alone as an adult with two kids. And I usually do remember to do things, but I suppose when it's gonna be busy. I can only imagine what will happen if you have one of those, like we had the other day with the airport where the electric went off and then people had no bags and they had to go home or queue outside, all sorts of just craziness that happens. At least hopefully if a bad madness like that was to happen on that day, hopefully there'd be like a little bit more kind of assistance or protection or help available in that situation. So that's the reason why I wanted to add it on, really. I've never used it before. I didn't know it was available before, to be honest. Yeah, so I think that's a great option to have. So they gave me a lanyard to bring with me. Just a normal daisy. What's it called? Sunflowers. Sunflower. Why is it like this? I'm just going through the papers and I'm trying to look for this paper, and it's like every other set of paper. Why don't you just put them all together? What are these people doing? This is crazy. This is wild, guys. It's like a set of maybe 10, and it repeats. Why don't you just put all of the same patterns together? I have to search for every single one of these. I'm gonna be here all night. All night just handling paper. Anyway. Yeah, so that was one good positive. So I'm really happy about that. So at least if I'm at the airport, because then, I'm not going to worry about missing any announcement. Jeez, I can't speak. Any announcements? I'm not going to be worried about. It just takes your mind off lots of stuff. So I'm glad that's in place. But still, there's all the other stuff to sort out still. So I'm just been on board with that, really. I'm a little bit discombobulated, however, for the past week or so. What happened is my phone screen smashed. It didn't smash, actually. That was too dramatic. It's a flip phone, and the screen just decided that it wasn't going to work. I mean, I do open and close the screen a lot, but do you know what? That's what it's there for, right? A phone is to be opened and closed. It's to be used, surely. It's not to be put on a shelf, on a pillow. Like, that's what the phone's for. So anyway, while I was at the event that I told you about the other week, that's the trimmer. While I was at the event, I suppose I was opening and closing my phone so many times, trying to look at results, trying to do all the things for the kids. It just went. So it was actually quite traumatic. So I was using it 1 minute, and then the screen sort of in the middle kind of sort of changed colour. It went black, and then the rest of it went black. Then the bottom came back as a light, and the top was black. And then because I was trying to, I was like, I didn't know what was going on, so I tried to switch it off. And as I'm trying to press the button to switch it off, obviously you can't see if it's going off because the screen's black. So I must have pressed it 5 times. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you press your the on and off button 5 times in a row, it's like an emergency alert to emergency services, like a distress call basically. So then I had emergency services on the phone to me saying, "Hello, are you okay? Can we help you?" And I was like, I don't know, I'm just trying to switch my phone off. I must have thought, why are you calling the police because you need to switch your phone off? Like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I can't put the phone down. Like, everything's fine. We're all fine. And can you imagine there's like screaming in the background, shouting in the background because I'm out of it with kids. So lots of screaming and shouting in the background. And I'm there just being like, no, it's fine. We're absolutely fine. Nothing's going on here. I'm just, please, can you put the phone down, please? Because I can't see my phone screen. I can't put the phone down. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I would never do this. Like, this is not what I do. So I was really annoyed about that, actually, because obviously you don't want to be wasting emergency services times. Like, you know, there's actual emergencies out there. So that's not, it wasn't my fault. It's not something I could help. Yeah, so then they put the phone down and then I just left it, basically. So obviously, because it's a flip phone, it's got a main screen in the middle, and then on the front you've got another screen that you can use. So for the week, I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to stick it out. I'm just going to use the front screen. Because there's a minimal stuff you can do with the front screen. You can still use WhatsApp, still use YouTube, you can make phone calls, write messages. You can see alerts as well. So everything else that I had to do, like, you know, like send emails and things like that, I have to use my laptop at home. But the basic things I could do. So I thought, you know, I'm going to stick it out, and then when I've got a moment, I'll book it in to be fixed at Samsung. So anyway, I was trying to, sorry, I just need to concentrate on this bit. I'm just trying to cut this in a bit of a, great, I've got a good few bits here, look. Lots of them. I love these colours as well. Look how oh, it's so bright. Let me see if it pops because of the filter that I've got on. I suppose it kind of does, isn't it? It's so cool. It's gonna look amazing at Christmas. Can you imagine? Yeah. So yeah, so I thought, okay, I'll just book it in when I've got a moment. So anyway, in the meantime, I thought, okay, I need to get my pictures and my data, like my notes. Like, I use notes for everything. I don't know about you, but as an autistic person, using notes is so invaluable for me. Like, every time, I think I'm ADHD as well. Like, I have like many thoughts at once. And in order to keep up with the thoughts, the only thing I can do is open up my notes and like make many notes, and then make a note to remember a note, and then come back to that note once I finish this note, if you get what I mean. So I use notes a lot. So I've got notes from like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, all on there. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to transfer everything across, you know, to my laptop or something, just so that when they wipe the phone to fix it, that I've still got all the stuff. However, smart Samsung didn't consider the fact that if you cannot access your phone screen because it's smashed, which I mean must happen to many phones, how do you send yourself an access code or put the access code into your phone? Because it doesn't work on the front screen. Smart Samsung didn't consider that level of common sense. So I was unable to transfer all of my data across. Really annoying. Trying to look to see. You can't really tell that it's pink on the outside. I don't know, maybe I'll just do it. I'll do one like this, and then I'll do one just all the same way, because, yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to look like yet. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I was unable to transfer my data across. All my phone numbers, a lot of pictures and videos that I've done in the last few months as well, unable to transfer that across. So I lost a lot of stuff, basically. So I was just basically just not trying to think about it for the past sort of week and a half, 2 weeks. You know, just thinking, okay, I'll just, you know, slowly rebuild everything, you know, get all numbers back from different people and things. And I was all right doing that. But then after about a week or so, just an absolute complete meltdown. I think it was just from so long of just like holding in, because initially I thought, okay, maybe they'll try to see what they can retrieve. Obviously, they don't care about retrieving data. That's not their concern. It's just about getting the phone fixed and just getting it back out to you, basically. So, you know, I had hope that maybe they would retrieve something, you know, for me to be able to do that. But anyway, once I got it back, everything was off. And so I just try not to think about it because there's so many other things going on. So I try not to think about it and just, you know, get on with daily life, with trying to work, you know, sorting out the kids and everything else like that. And then it just got to a point where I was just like, actually, I'm pissed off about this. Do you know what I mean? It's just too many things, especially as, you know, it's not just daily stuff. It's actually like, you know, work codes as well. You know, passwords for things at work. I had to reset everything, absolutely everything. So it's just really frustrating, really annoying, time consuming, energy sapping. If you can imagine having to go through everything as well. There's a lot of stuff at work I wasn't able to fully do because I needed a code from my phone in order to set things up. You know, I don't know if you guys use tokens at work when you've got a computer, work computer or a work laptop. So I wasn't able to do that. So there's a lot of stuff I wasn't fully able to do at work as well, which made me a little bit behind with stuff. So yeah, it got to a point where I was just like, I just cannot and will not, and I'm not going to. You know, when you just get to that point, I will not, I cannot, I shall not, and I'm not going to. And I got to that point. I was having a meeting with my manager actually. It was a meeting, and the idea was I would have the meeting in the morning via internet. I'm sure you guys know what internet is, via the internet, and then go in afterwards. And that was the idea. That was what I planned to do. But I'd wake up on that morning and I was like, I just cannot today. I was sort of contemplating whether or not I could do the meeting. Like up until the second, even when I was logging in, I was like, can I even do this meeting? Like, I don't know if I can. Like, you know, just very overwhelmed. I was just crying every 2 minutes. Just very, just, you know, basically just absolute meltdown. Yeah. So anyway, I decided to do the meeting. I'm glad I did actually. I'm glad I did. I suppose my manager's never seen me kind of not kind of masking, basically. Do you know what I mean? Masking and agreeable and put together. That's obviously what I always present. So to see me not in that way, I suppose it was quite surprising. But the meeting that we was having was to do with the fact that I needed adjustments anyway at work. So it was kind of like, well, you know, how am I presenting now? Am I presenting, you know, the me that's masking everything's absolutely fine? No, I'm absolutely fine. Everything's great. I'm fine because I'm absolutely great. I'm fine. You know, masking me, or am I now presenting the person that needs adjustment? So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna just be who I am, and just go from there. Which is obviously a massive risk, isn't it? Because it's your work at the end of the day, and if it gets to a point where you feel like your adjustments can't be met, or you show a side that you think your employer's not gonna be agreeable to, like that sort of risks, you know, the job that you have and things. But I thought I can't really keep it up that much more at work anyway, so there wasn't really much of a choice. So I'm glad that I took the meeting the way that I was. I will be doing another video to tell you about not the meeting, but basically, you know, work adjustments is work, the work that you're doing still for you, because that's basically what I'm trying to consider at the moment now. So yeah, so then I had that meeting there, and as I said, I was like, I'm really sorry, but I cannot come in today. I'm so sorry. Like, I just can't today. I wish I could, but I cannot. She was very understanding. She's like, yep, that's fine. I said, but I'm in tomorrow, and I will be in tomorrow. I just need today. Yeah, so then I just sat out here for hours doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, do nothing for a good few hours, which was lovely. It was lovely sunny as well, so that was great. Very therapeutic. And then yeah, that's just what I needed. I just needed a day of nothing for a day. Do you know what I mean? The kids were at school still, so I literally did nothing. The house was an absolute mess, but I refused to do anything in it. I was like, because you start doing something, and then that's what saps your energy more. You start doing something, there's not actual time to fully recover. Do you know what I mean? And that's just kind of what I'm doing around in circles, basically. So I did feel a lot better from that. And then I went to work the next day. And then I've been off for the last few days, but I don't feel like I've been off at all. I literally don't feel like I've been off. Yeah. So yeah. So with the whole phone thing, the reason why the phone was an issue, and I think it caused so much issues for me, is like I put everything in my phone. So I have my notes on my phone. So anytime I need to remember something, anytime I need to buy something, do something, I put it into my notes. As soon as I have an appointment booked or someone, queries, oh, you're available, we need to come to the house to do this, or, the kids have got an appointment, it goes straight in my phone. Competitions and things for my kids, straight into my phone. So at a glance, I feel quite grounded knowing, this is the time you have available, this is when you're free, this is when you're working, this is when you have to do stuff, it's good for me to be able to see that. So for me to have that all white and not be able to see, it was very ungrounded, I'd say, basically. You kind of feel a bit all over the place because you don't know what the next day is. Like, I didn't even know what my work schedule was. I had to go into work the next day to find out what my work schedule was. So yeah, just feel very all over the place, basically. I think that was the most stressful part of it. Not having the actual phone, I couldn't really care less about the phone. It was quite nice, actually, not checking emails throughout the day. It was very nice. I actually considered going back to like a dumb phone. Not the one that I had. The one that I had drove me crazy. It was the Nokia, 8210, 35, I think it's a 3510. It was a remake of that came out a few years ago. I bought it a few years ago. Very basic. It works perfectly. I mean, the battery lasted. I didn't have to charge the battery once. Like literally, I was using it for a week. I didn't charge that battery once. I switch it on there, and it will still work because it's made solid. But trying to send a text, good luck. Just make sure you're planned time for it. It's not a quick, oh, I'm coming, or I'm here, or it's not a quick thing. Yeah, you have to make time to send the text. Ah, dear. So yeah, so that was that, basically. Yeah, so it's definitely been eventful. Anyway, I'm going to continue with this paper chain. Yeah, just look out for more videos. I've got a couple more. As I said, I'm doing one on, what's this one on? Work. That's one that I'm working on next. So hopefully you guys see that one soon.